Good morning to my friends and family, and welcome to this episode of Jim's 5am Club. What I'd love to do today is to take you through a book, and the book that I've selected for today's episode is entitled Teaching Kids How to Think, a book that was published on the 3rd of March 2015 by a dual authorship of Darlene Sweetland and Ron Stolberg. Parenting in today's world often feels like swimming upstream. Everywhere you turn, children are being taught by technology, advertising, and even school systems that life should be instant, easy, and on demand. Teaching kids to think hits one quite deeply because it doesn't just point out the problem, it gives parents practical strategies to raise kids who can indeed delayed gratification, tolerate frustration, and think critically in a culture of I want it now and I want it right away. Sweetland and Stolberg write with empathy. They don't shame parents for struggling in this age of devices and convenience. They acknowledge how overwhelming it can be to set limits when the whole world seems to be whispering to our children, "You deserve it now." What makes this book valuable is its blend of real-life examples and actionable steps that parents can start using right away. It's less about rigid rules and more about building the mental muscles that kids need to thrive in adulthood. This is not just a parenting book, it's a wake-up call to slow down, hold firm, and remember that raising resilient, thoughtful children requires saying no sometimes for their own long-term good. So the first key message to come from this book is to acknowledge and to state that instant gratification leads to long-term weakness. When children get everything they want right away, they miss out on learning patience, problem solving, and perseverance. The key message from this author is that parents must help kids tolerate no and practice waiting because it builds grit and deep emotional strength. The authors go on to tell us, don't be afraid of frustration. Parents often rush to rescue their children from discomfort, but it's through frustration that is a natural and necessary teacher that we need to get them to hug and embrace. Allowing kids to experience small failures like waiting their turn, saving for something, or struggling through homework helps them build resilience. We go on to discover that teaching self-control through everyday routines is also a valuable and a powerful lesson for children. Simple acts like making children earn screen time, saving allowances for purchases, or waiting until after dinner for dessert are powerful lessons in delayed gratification, and it's through repetition that creates habits that stick and last a lifetime. The author says something quite powerful here as well, that communication are far more better than lectures, because when it's all said and done, we've all been there as children. Kids tune out to nagging. Instead, parents should explain the why behind limits and engage children in conversations that help develop reasoning skills. When kids understand that rules are connected to bigger life lessons, they're more likely to understand and to cooperate and collaborate. Another key message to come from this authorship, is that we need to model what you want to see in your children, because many people say the same thing, and we all know this. Children notice when parents giving in to impulses like constant phone scrolling, overspending, or avoiding challenges. Modelling patience, budgeting, and self-discipline teaches far more than words alone. And it's important to also appreciate that boundaries are not punishment. Boundaries are love in action. Many parents fear saying no will push their kids away. Sweetland and Stolberg stress that boundaries, when enforced consistently and calmly, provide children with the necessary security that they need to grow and develop in a balanced way. We must try to limit kids. That love is not indulgence. Limits are actually a way of teaching kids that love is not indulgence. It's actually guidance. And the last key point to come from these authors is where we look at future success and how future success depends on what we do here and now today. The ability to delay gratification is tied to stronger and better academic performance, healthier relationships, and financial responsibility. It must be noted that parents who intentionally teach their skills or teach this skill are giving their children a strong and powerful foundation for independence and confidence in their adult lives. If you sometimes feel guilty for saying no or worry about being too strict, this book reframes those moments as some of the most loving acts you can offer your child. Teaching kids to think is not about depriving kids but about empowering them with the tools they'll need to thrive in a world that doesn't always hand out instant rewards. Thank you very much for joining me on this episode of Jim's 5am Club, and I look forward to chatting to you again and coming to you from another beautiful place in this wonderful country that I live in, and sharing an empowering message that can help us grow and develop and pass on these valuable lessons to our children and future generations. Take care, everybody. Yassas, and bye for now.